Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Jarrell.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to review issue 187 of The Walking Dead.
Now, if you guys remember, we did a video just recently before this issue came out. It was from Robert Kirkman at a con saying that issue 187 was going to be the biggest storyline to date. Yeah.
No.
It was a good story.
Yep.
It had a lot of information, but either he did that on purpose to get us psyched for it, but it kind of, I felt a little bit let down. I was thinking like, okay, the Commonwealth stuff is building up. What kind of biggest storyline could this be?
Yeah, I truly thought because of what he said that involved something that was going to happen with Rick, obviously, because Rick is our biggest character in the series. But yeah, I was so hyped because of that interview that I kind of thought that this was kind of a letdown, but I get it. It probably sets up the story for further.
It does,
storylines.
It really does, especially the
Said
one
that wrong, but
yeah, especially the 189 cover for March. You kind of see it sets it up. So
yeah, so we open up at the Commonwealth, and this is Governor Milton basically giving a speech to the people of the Commonwealth, saying she understands that tensions are high right now, but she does want to release the information that an assassination attempt was made on her life. And thank God to Rick Grimes, her savior.
Yes, and she does mention Dwight by name, saying it was Dwight, part of Rick's group, who tried to kill me, who was he's off his ends, basically. Rick saved my life. Now, I don't want you to basically retaliate against Rick or his people, because they are still welcome here. But I would like Rick to come up and say some words. So I'm thinking okay, Rick is on the borderline of, I don't like what they're doing here, but I see the potential. What is he really going to say?
Yeah, it was very interesting. And, he basically just plays the part, right?
He does.
He doesn't necessarily... he plays the part. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Perfectly. He says, I know it's been painful. Things have been through a lot. He's like, I see the potential here. I don't want to ruin this place. I want to make things better. And you one person you see that doesn't like this is Mercer.
Yeah,
because
he's
Mercer,
pissed off.
From how he heard the interaction between him and Dwight, Mercer felt like Rick was kind of seeing his side. I think he thought Rick maybe would have been on his side.
Yeah, and we see this later in the issue. I think Mercer kind of gets, or thought that this was the perfect opportunity right then and there, and we'll see later on the issue, to take action.
Exactly.
And Rick didn't seize that opportunity.
Yeah. So we do get back to Alexandria. Magna talks to Sadiq, and she says, look, I'm worried that we haven't heard from Rick yet. I want you to go out to the Commonwealth and check things out. But first, you're going to need to go to the hilltop and get people, because I can't spare anybody. Yep. So go to the hilltop. I'm sure Maggie can hook you up with a couple people and report back as soon as you can.
Yeah. Now, the next part, we jump to the princess, and she is waiting for Mercer. She's packing up and leaving. And this is where we get a little bit of backstory with the princess, which was very brutal. It's interesting and cool that we got this backstory, but at the same time, it was brutal.
It was very brutal, but it sets up of why she is, her personality, why she's so happy, why she's so excited for life.
Perfectly.
Exactly.
So she, with all the tension that is going on, wants to leave and get out. It wasn't anything that Mercer did, because he even asks, but it is more of, due to what's happened in her life, she cannot be around, what's the word that she used?
The darkness.
Yeah, evil.
Evil and darkness, because... I think her father passed away when she was really young. Her mother remarried, got a new stepfather and stepbrother, and these guys were evil dudes. They beat her. They locked her in closets for hours on end,
days on end,
and because her mother didn't do anything about it, because she wasn't alone anymore. So the princess is basically saying, I would rather be alone than get back into this darkness. The reason I'm so happy all the time and I'm all giddy is because I want to look at the positive things in life and not make myself feel like I'm back as a child to when I was just being brutally beaten all the time.
I do want to make things clear that it was so graphic that they took turns beating her to the point, and she was locked up for hours on end, to the point where she would, soil herself, bathroom wise, piss herself, and that would piss them off even more,
Right.
and they would beat her even more.
Yeah.
So abandoned by her mother, beaten by people she should have trusted, and here she is so happy and vibrant. It really speaks to the personality that she has, and then furthermore, she doesn't want to ever see that type of evil again. So that is why she is leaving.
That's why she's leaving. So like we said, nothing against Mercer. She loves being with him, but
this crazy thing is Mercer even tries to get her to change and says, "Look, is there anything I can do?" And she's like, "Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Nothing more we could say." So the next part is, I could have gone without it, but it was interesting. It was back with Carl and Lydia and Sophia. So Carl is up in the house, and he's seeing that Sophia is on a date with Josh, who she introduced her to. At first, she was like, but he's looking out, and he's, Josh is actually even telling Sophia, it's so cool that your mom is the leader of the Hilltop. And Sophia goes in and does explain that, my original mom was killed.
Cool callback to Carol.
A cool callback to Carol, and Maggie has really raised me for the longest time, so she is a mother figure to me. Josh even mentioned about, well, I love being here instead of being out with the people who wear skin on their faces, talking about, because he was with the Whisperers for a short period of time.
Yeah, and I too could have went without this next scene, I think, which is the scene that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Carl is looking on at this conversation, doesn't obviously hear anything, but looks on this date happening, and is actually happy for Sophia, and it makes him happy. And what does that do? That causes tension between him and Lydia. And he dumbfoundedly tries to explain to Lydia that the way, obviously him and Sophia are friends. They grew up together. They went through this apocalypse together, so they bonded, and that they're just friends. But furthermore, he says that he cares for Lydia in such a way that they mesh well together because they're monsters.
Right.
And that freaks Lydia out, pisses her off, and she leaves.
Yeah, so there's an understanding because they're monsters. He didn't get to finish, and we find out later in the issue he explains what he meant. But it was this piece was interesting. I could have gone without it. But it was all right.
And the whole reason why I could have gone without it is because it doesn't really serve the story that well.
No.
Yes, she's pissed off and jealous at Sophia. We get that. But later in the issue, it's squashed.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really serve any purpose unless
it's kind of just
we're just not being given the full story.
Right. It's just feel good stuff. But Mercer is out. He is just taking his anger out on walkers that are around the area. And Laura, Dwight's girlfriend, sees him and helps him out for a split second. And she kind of says, "Look, I understand that you are not happy with how the leadership is going right now. Do you think maybe you want to do something about it? Might be time to." And Mercer's like, "Yeah, maybe."
Yeah,
we'll see.
Very interesting here, because I thought initially we don't really know what's going on in Laura's mind, so we don't know if she's like trying to maybe go and attack Rick, maybe pissed off that Rick killed Dwight.
We really don't know her mindset.
Yeah.
So we do get another reunion with Rick and Michonne. Rick is kind of sitting in a little cafe area, but
I hated this.
I didn't like it, but they're trying to. Michonne, they're trying to reconcile. Michonne is like, "Look, yes, I created a bad situation," but she was trying to explain not Daryl. We were talking about the show earlier. Dwight was like, you could see the tension brewing. He was coming unhinged and kind of telling Rick, "You did what you had to do," and I didn't like it because it was like, also like what Rick's kind of said to her in the previous issue, like, "You didn't think I could control him." Well, it's like,
and she says, I seem to remember that there was a situation where you were on the other end of that barrel as well.
Oh yeah.
Basically saying, look, Dwight was turning on you just before he came here, and
that's right.
In the end, Rick apologizes, and she is happy, that Rick is possibly coming to her side of things.
Rick does mention, he's like, "Look, I do understand what this place is. I understand the capability of this place. I don't want to ruin it, but I want to see everything at every single angle, basically." And that's kind of, Michonne was kind of agreeing with it, saying, "Yes, you're right. That's what I've been trying to say, but I still think
He's playing a balancing game. He's playing a balancing act because at one point he knows what this place is. He knows how terrible it is as far as people being treated the way that they should be treated. That's not happening. But at the same time, he realizes how valuable this is because this is the largest settlement to date. And it's a start at possibly life evolving again to what it should be.
Yeah, because he mentions we've run into many different communities before, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
So he sees it. So we do get to the hilltop. Sadiq finally arrives at the hilltop, and two of the guards weren't paying attention, and they saw Sadiq just roll up like, what do you want? And he's like, I signaled you guys.
That was not put in there on accident.
Yeah.
So I just, at some point, issues down the road, I'm going to come back to this scene and say, remember when the guards weren't paying attention?
Yeah, exactly. So
because they make a statement of, we're so used to things being calm.
That I wasn't paying attention.
Yep, just want to throw that out there.
Because even Sadiq signaled that he was on it coming in, and they didn't see it. Yep. So Sadiq is talking with Maggie, and Maggie is asking, look, I know this is possibly dangerous, but we need volunteers. Who's first to volunteer?
I love that Aaron and Jesus both volunteered at the same time.
Both volunteered. Freaking awesome. And then Dante volunteers, and he's like, but only if you can stand being away from me.
Yeah, because she's like, oh yeah,
they're together. So, but what Maggie wants them to do is Maggie wants them to look on the Commonwealth from a safe distance. They want them to look on. If everything seems cool, come on back. If there is issues, get back here as fast as you can. So they just want to be at a safe distance because Maggie wants to make sure that the patrols aren't going to see them.
Yep.
Which to me, I'm like, well, that's still kind of shady. Like
it is, and I don't see what it's going to do.
Why don't you just go there?
There's travel time involved, and if there is something happening and you're just simply going back to the hilltop, what purpose does that serve?
And I don't think we've gotten confirmation how long it takes to get there.
Yeah, we have not.
I would imagine a couple days, but who knows? So here's the end piece of Carl.
Yeah, the next issue is Carl obviously knows that his father could possibly be in danger and is forcing Maggie to accept the fact that he's going no matter what.
He's like, look, it's my dad.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tie me up to not make me go. You're going to tie me up? No.
No, you're not. Furthermore, Lydia comes and we get a resolution there.
You're leaving?
Yeah. And basically Carl says, look, what I meant was I uncovered my eye for you so that people could see, and I'm not afraid of people seeing that. But furthermore,
it was her who actually gave him the confidence to do it.
And I've done terrible things. You've done terrible things, but people look on us as we're monsters.
Right.
But that makes us perfect for each other.
Exactly. So he's just reiterating that Lydia has given him the confidence. Like she was the only one that looked at him as him without that patch on.
Yeah.
They don't see his eye socket anymore. They just see Carl. And that's what
she does.
Well, she does, and I'm sure everybody else does, but that's what he loves about her, and that's what he meant to say is we are monsters, but we're good together because we are the things we do make us feel normal.
Yeah,
so.
I do love the line that she says is I'll be your monster for you. That's pretty cool.
Of course. So now the end of this issue. The Commonwealth guys come in from a long day of
soldiers.
Soldiers come in. I don't know what they do all day. But Mercer comes in and is like, man, when have you guys ever had a good day? Anyone have a good day today? Ever? And this is where he's trying to pep talk these guys. He's like, look, things are starting to get crazy here. I think there could be a better place than what we have right now.
Yeah, he says basically the way that people are treated around here, it can be better. This place can be better. And I think it's time that we change the leadership.
Now, one of the lines in here, I know that he's talking about Rick because he says, do any of you like risking your lives for Governor Milton and her friends? I think he's talking about Rick because I think Mercer thinks that Rick is on her side. Even though I think Rick is kind of doing a balancing act, he's trying to feel things out. Maybe Mercer is taking it, okay, Rick's on her side. Yeah, it's his friend now. So I'm thinking her friends is.
I've seen
Rick.
A lot of comments saying that they were just waiting for the Rick versus Mercer confrontation, and truly, I don't think we're going there. I think that at this point, well, let's get further into the issue. So essentially, Mercer gives this pep talk and basically reveals to his soldiers. We heard one, but he is revealing to his entire crew that it's time to change the leadership and. they have to do something about it, that the military has to do something about it.
We can do it quickly and peacefully.
Yep. And unfortunately, someone overheard that, and that is Lance.
Yep. He just says, "Oh, Mercer, Governor is going to be very disappointed in you."
Yep. So what I think is going to happen is, unfortunately, Mercer is going to be jailed.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue reveal that we did in our last March solicitations, March solicitations, was possibly our Sadiq,
Laura
and Dante breaking Mercer out. The question is where's Rick in all of that?
Well, because the 189 shows jail cells, so, and that's what I'm thinking is, I don't think I could see Laura wanting to break out Mercer and Sadiq maybe wanting to break out Rick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Sadiq's not going to know who Mercer is, but who knows?
The only problem that I don't like about this whole Commonwealth situation is you and I, the reader, really haven't gotten that much of the Commonwealth being bad.
No.
All we've seen is a couple of shots of maybe the richer people eating above the poor class,
and the soldier
beating, little hints of it, but
and the soldier beating up the one person that made Dwight mad.
As the reader, we really haven't gotten that much.
No, we really haven't, and I'm hoping there's no like Commonwealth war, but yeah, we haven't.
I would hope that there would be a little bit more reveal to the reader of how bad the Commonwealth really is for the people before we get into something like that.
Right, like how much food does the rich, the wealthier people get? How, the people that were janitors in their former life, how much food do they get per day or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do they have to pay supplies to earn more food or something like that? I don't know, but that's true. We really haven't seen. Is the Commonwealth evil?
I mean,
no.
Would you feel comfortable seeing Rick and our crew revolting and doing a coup and taking over at this point? No. Because really, why?
Right. They're disagreeing with the way that the Governor Milton is.
Now, if they're,
I wouldn't say ruling the place,
if they're performing some type of genocide, then absolutely you go in and you take over. But yeah.
I don't know, guys. But let us know your thoughts of issue 187. Do you guys feel that this was the biggest storyline to date from what Robert Kirkman said? Do you think Kirkman was just playing with us, just giving us a little tease, just to bait us in, making us go crazy? But
yeah, let us know what you thought of this issue and what's going to happen next issue. We'd love to see your comments. If you made it through this video, give a thumbs up. Follow us at NocBro Nation on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Josh.
I'm Jarrell.
This is NocBro Nation.
We're out.